So last time we practiced in Play-Doh. I think we're ready now, so we're actually going to use the clay. We only have one day to work with this, so I hope that you are paying attention. Today, everyone's get a hunk of clay, and then you'll also have some water on your table that you'll be sharing. We'll have some access to tools, but I'm going to keep them on the middle table until you need them. Your goal today is to turn this piece of clay into something that looks like this. Now, this is going to be a little bit hard. I don't expect it to be perfect. I can't even make it perfectly like a skull, but I do want you to try your hardest and use those terms like the mandala, the orbital bone. I want you to include those things. Now, when you do yours, the one thing I want you to make different is that you see these little hollow spots? Yeah, I don't want you to do those. It's gonna be a little bit too hard. I want this to be one form. You don't have to have those hollow spots inside the skull, but I do want you to have the same shape. So what you'll do is, just like last time, you'll take a look at this photograph and you're going to manipulate the clay like so. I would go ahead by making a ball and also squeezing the clay before you do that. This gets rid of the what? I hope you said bubbles. If you need some water, I have that. That'll help make it a little bit softer, just like Play-Doh. But I'm gonna go ahead and make this into a spear. You wanna do this over the tray with the newsprint. Try not to move the newspaper around. Try not to get the clay on the table, otherwise it could get stuck and that would be no fun. What I'm looking at first is just the shape of the outside of the skull. I'm noticing it is not a perfect circle. There's some areas where it's recessed and somewhere it's really low. So I'm going to manipulate it into the shape that I want. This is the hard part, but I do want you to try. So I don't know about you, but when I look at this shape, I kind of see like a giant bean or a seed. So that's the shape I see. I'm gonna start with this. Next thing I'm gonna do is gonna use a tool, the popsicle stick, to gouge out the eyes. So I'm gonna take this and make some eyes. And I'm gonna keep the clay nearby, but then I'm gonna use my fingers to smooth that out. Now that I have that smoothed out, I'm gonna go ahead and do the nose. And remember, there really kind of is no nose in the human skull. What we have on the outside is called cartilage, which is the same as the stuff that makes up your ears on the outside. So I'm just gonna put a little hole for the nose. That's really all you have to do. That's all I expect. Now, the teeth that I'm gonna do with the needle. You can do yours differently. Remember today, guys, we are gonna get a little bit messy. There is no need to wash your hands because they're just gonna get dirty again until you are done. I'm pushing the orbital bones up, the zygomatic arch, so that it looks a little bit more real. You can always go back. You could even squish this out if you don't like it and just start again. It's up to you. Today, I'll still be grading, so for those who did not get graded last time, I'm gonna be grading you today, so I may ask you just to step away from your work for a while. So I don't know what happened, but mine is just turning out to be way too skinny. I am just going to squish this all up and try one more time. That's the fun thing about art, is that sometimes you can mess up, but you always have another chance. Take these chances wisely. You don't always get those in life. So now I'm trying again, one more time. Now, we only have one class period, so I will probably end this video early so you don't have to spend the whole time just watching me do it. But I do want you to take your time and really think about this, because once it's dry, I put it in the oven and it is done for good. Okay, so now I have the teeth, I have the zygomatic arch. Right now, I am going to use the tool to scoop out the temples a little bit. Because remember, there's a little bit of a recession back there, and that is on both sides. Before I put my initials on this and put it on the back counter, I'm gonna take some water and smooth it out. Please try not to add anything to your skull. Please don't take a piece and just kind of stick it on there. It won't work. It could explode in the kiln unless you slip and score. So unless you remember how to slip and score something, please make sure that you don't add anything to it. So I'm gonna smooth it out. The bone in the body, if you ever get to hold a human bone or look at bones in a museum, you'll notice that they're very smooth. So I expect this one to be smooth. Try smoothing it out a little bit before you turn it in. Once you have something that you like, you can put it on your tray. You're going to turn it around on the back side of the skull. Somewhere, please write your initials. I'm just gonna write MB for Mr. Boatfield, because that's what y'all call me. And I am now done. Please return all of your materials like this, popsicle stick and needle, to the middle table. If you have extra clay, we're gonna have a bag on the middle table where you can put that in. You're gonna take your tray. Oop. I'm gonna hold it with one hand. You should hold yours with two hands just to be safe. And put it on the back counter. Oh my gosh! That's why you should hold it with two hands. I had to do it with one hand because of the camera. But do yours with two hands so you don't end up like me. Let it be. Please don't touch other people's work. You can use a wet wipe to clean your hands, clean your table, and then start a new activity.